I tell all my business people all the time, because I outrank all of them by a mile, is that I say review harvest is your secret weapon. Because if you're doing good service and you're creating that value, then you can marry that with a company that will literally, all they're doing is tripling the opportunity that you're going to get reviews. It's funny, he bought a dryer event business 3 months before we started, and I knew Clay, so Clay got us hooked up. Within 4 or 5 months, I'm outranking him. And people are thinking, oh, you're the business that you're 7 years in, that guy just started. And it's a cheat code to build up that, because people see 200 reviews, they think, oh, this guy's got to be in business the last 5-10 years. We've only been in business 2 years.
Welcome back to the Built Local podcast. Today we have a very special guest to me, Daniel, because Daniel was probably one of the first, businesses I ever helped out back in the early days. The story of how we found each other is kind of crazy. I posted a selfie with Alex Hormozy's book. Alex Hormozy reposted on his stories. I was freaking out about that. From that, I got a bunch of followers. You were one of the people that followed me, and I was like, this guy looks like a great fit. So I DM'd you and then went back and forth and got set up. And so for anybody who doesn't know who you are, Daniel, introduce yourself and your business.
Absolutely. Yeah. So my name is Daniel. I'm the owner and founder of Vent Doctors. We are a dryer vent cleaning company based in Port St. Lucie, Florida. And yeah, we've been at it for about the last couple of years now, just growing and scaling. And what we do is we make homes safer through dryer vent cleaning. Dryer fires are the number 3 cause for home fires in the U.S. And so, the dryer manuals themselves require the dryer vents to be cleaned out once a year. And that's what the service we provide. We make sure the dryer vents are not only cleaned out, but are also code compliant and also current. And we can do other things as well, like we'll clean the actual dryer machine, change out the hookups, repair the piping if needed, and other related services. And so I guess what makes us stand out is that we're a full service dryer vent cleaning company. Not only do we clean the vents, we clean the machines itself, which is actually the fire preventative side of our service.
Wow. Okay, cool. Incredible. Yeah, no, I remember seeing the first time seeing a business like that, it was on Instagram or TikTok or something. And it was just the same type of content you make. It's like you're there and the stuff that comes out of there is crazy.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
like, yeah, you don't want to be sending a bunch of, you don't want that sitting around a bunch of hot machines or air or whatever it is. So how did you get into it originally? Like, how did you find out about driving?
Absolutely. It goes way back. I knew that I would end up in the trades eventually. And so my story's really unique. So I grew up in South Florida. My grandfather ran an HVAC company. And so getting up every day and seeing him put on his tool belt, go out and do work and kind of work on his own terms, and also be able to like help people for where they were at, was really cool to me. I would actually begin by actually getting my marketing degree at Palm Beach University. It's a small Christian university based in West Palm. And I would go on to get my MBA there as well. Opposed to the traditional track of then going in the corporate route and then scaling up from there, I just decided to start my own company. I worked actually, the way I found about dryer vent cleaning was I actually worked for a company that had there was a company that had a bunch of different brands, and one of the brands was dryer vent cleaning. And I was able to kind of see like, hey, this is a real opportunity. I mean, everybody I know has a dryer. Everybody that, in the US dries, like the US is the highest dryer consumption. The dryer machine is actually the most used appliance in the house out of any other appliance, and they pull the most power. And there weren't a lot of companies that are actual companies doing it. So like kind of getting to where we were, I thought, oh man, I could really like build a business out of this. The dryer vent industry as a whole is a single truck, single tech operation. And so I kind of saw like, hey, maybe there's an opportunity for us to, get all this beyond the one truck. So I decided to launch out. I started in Port St. Lucie because there was only 2 other companies doing it. And there's, over 300,000 people just in Port St. Lucie. We service about 600,000 people from Indian River to this. And I just launched into it. I had more of a marketing background. That was what my degree is in. So I just decided I'll figure out the dryer vent cleaning side as I go, and got certified and got it done. So
awesome. Did you have any HVAC experience at all from kind of your previous experience growing up and seeing that business grow, or not at all?
Zero.
Okay.
I was the least tool person in my family and in that. So yeah, I was, yeah. So yeah, no tool experience whatsoever.
Yeah. Okay. That's hilarious. I think I'd probably be very similar to that. The other day I called my dad. We were about to play pickleball, and he was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm putting a bed cover on my truck." And he was like, I told him that I was probably going to get one. And I think he just assumed that I was going to call him and need his help. And I was like, Dad, you better come on. He was like, really? You're doing what? was like, Dad, come on. I can watch a YouTube video. I can figure this out. But talking about, going from, kind of the least toolie in the family to learning dryer vent cleaning, what were some of the challenges there? Or, is it relatively simple, or, how's it work?
Yeah. Well, the cleaning is relatively simple, assuming you have the right tools. And so, fortunately for me, because I had kind of like a bird's eye view of what the correct tools were, I figured that out. The two hard parts is the actual repairing and installing. Because like now, what I do, and now after doing it for a couple of years, I can easily do it. But cutting
Mhm.
into drywall, making sure you're not cutting into like anything electrical. Actually, I'll tell you this story. The first time I ever cut into a wall, I actually cut into a plumbing pipe because I used the wrong tool. So you're supposed to use an oscillating tool that cuts just the drywall. I used a sawzall and I went
Oh,
right through a plumbing pipe. Within probably 2 minutes, I flooded this entire person's laundry room. So that was
oh,
my first month in business. So yeah, that
oh,
was crazy. And then it's just the taking up the other side of it is being able to take apart the dryer machine itself. So like that's more of the appliance repair side of things, but that's one of the reasons why a lot of dryer vent companies they don't do repairs and they don't do the machine side because they're so afraid of the liability. Which is I kind of dove in head first and said, "Hey, I'm just going to figure this out as I go."
yeah.
And now after putting 2 years in, I'm 100% comfortable of taking apart machines, cutting in drywall. I repair drywall. I do it all the time.
Yeah. Wow. So what happened with the end of that flooded laundry room story?
Okay, I couldn't have done it to the better customer. The customer I cut it in was actually a plumber in his past life. He had built a plumbing business and sold it. He came in, shut off the water, and he said, "Hey, mistakes happen. If you could just fix this, that'd be great." I had a buddy who grew up as a plumber. I called him, and it's funny when I called him, the first thing he asked was, "What did you break?" And he showed up same day, fixed it. We had our shop vacs. We sucked it out. We got all the water out, and the guy still like tipped me. I didn't charge him anything. He was like, "Oh, I'll give you $50. Thanks for helping me."
What?
And
That's
I know
incredible.
I could not have happened to a better customer, but I learned, and I never made that mistake twice. So that was a one and done for me. So
Yeah. No, what a blessing. I mean, honestly, it was
yeah.
kind of it ended up being a cheap lesson, right? You're obviously not going to make
Oh
that
yeah.
again, right?
No.
And he still paid you $50. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's incredible. Well,
Yeah.
walk us through. So you had the marketing background. Um, what were the early days like trying to market your business? There's a lot of people listening to this podcast who are probably in that first year, 2 years of their home service business, and most of them have more experience on the actual trade side than the actual marketing, starting a business side. And so, what were those years like? How did you get it off the ground?
Yeah, so I mean, what we did was so I was very fortunate to have that marketing background, and so I had some insight, from my past experience on how to generate leads. When you're starting out, lead gen is like the most important thing, and because you don't have a lot of jobs, you can spend a lot of time doing it. So what I ended up doing was I got really fortunate. One of my mentors runs a company that is a Facebook ad agency that only specializes in home services. So he builds Facebook ads just for home services, and I coached with him for 11 months. And so by the time I was ready to launch out, I already knew what to do. And so
Yeah,
our core business is Facebook ads. We run Facebook ads, and our kind of core thing is that we focus in on just the thing that converts the most, which is the mobile feed. And what I would do is I just posted a picture of myself and my wife and holding our baby, locally owned and operated business. This, first 40 customers, this price off. And I kid you not, I mean, the first month we were in, we broke $10,000.
that's
Which is like, the average company in our industry doesn't break 10,000 the first 6 to 8 months. And so we
wow.
did that first month, and we've been able to scale that now. With being in our second and third year, going into our like third official calendar year of business, we now have what's called reoccurring business. So I'm walking into 50 jobs this month that I did last year, and
Yeah,
we're building on that. And so, but yeah, I mean, the Facebook ad setup is mobile feed, Facebook page only,
yeah,
a localized picture that breaks the fold. So you're looking at it and you're going, okay, this is different. An offer, like, kind of like the $100 million offer. What's an offer that you can, scale up? And
yeah,
then just kind of just doing the service the right way. I mean, treating the customers white glove service, doing the
yeah,
best you can, because then next year comes around, they rebook with you again, and that's how we've
Yeah.
been able to build and scale. So
Real quick, if you're a local business owner and you want to start getting customers from Google, you know how important Google reviews are. Every week, I talk to business owners just like you across hundreds of industries who know reviews matter, but never seem to have the time or the system in place to actually get them. That's exactly why I've spent the last 2 years building Review Harvest. We built it with a non-tech savvy business owner in mind, so anybody can set it up in minutes and start getting reviews today. It automates the process of getting real reviews from your customers, responding to those reviews, and repurposing them across your website and across your social media platforms. It's a set it and forget it software. You can get it all set up in about 10 minutes and you never have to worry about reviews again. We can integrate into the tools you're already using so you don't have to change a thing. You don't have to train your team on how to request reviews. You don't have to request them manually. You get customers, we get your reviews. It's simple as that. And the first play in our playbook is what we call a review reactivation. You probably have hundreds or thousands of previous customers who loved your service but never left your review. So a lot of times our users can double or even triple their reviews just in the first couple months of working with us when we do that review reactivation. Yeah, I remember I actually told that story before about how we were talking about ads and stuff, and you're like, dude, my best ad is a family photo. And what he means by the mobile feed is that's like when you're running Facebook ads and you're looking at placements, you can put them in, that you can put them in the marketplace, the Facebook marketplace. You can put them on the reels, on the stories, whatever. And you found out that in feed was the highest converting. How did you find that out?
yeah, I mean, honestly, that was through my mentor. I mean, that's all that he does. So he has, I want to say well over 120, 150 clients that he works with, and he runs that, and they just did it through test. I mean, they were like, what converts the best? And his whole thing was like, he offers one product, one service, one customer. And that's like, he's the best at that. If you're going to hire somebody to do Facebook ads, that's the guy.
Yeah.
And that's just what he taught me. And it's been current the last year and a half of me doing that, like the last couple of years, really. So it's not changed. The imagery changes, the offer changes, and like, sometimes you can mess with the targeting, but the overall structure is the same.
Wow, I love it. Well, I think you mentioned an offer as well. Obviously, offers are incredibly important. And I think the number one thing I hear home service business owners say about Alex Hormozi's $100 million offers book is like, well, that doesn't apply to me. Like, oh yeah, sure, you can do that for your gym business or your info business or your online business, whatever. But I'm an HVAC. I'm in drive-in cleaning. I'm in dog poop scooping. Whatever it is, that doesn't apply to me. And so obviously, you've still figured out a way to make an offer that's compelling enough to be able to run ads and stuff like that. And so what's some encouragement or what are some things that you've done in your drive-in cleaning business to create a Grand Slam offer?
Yeah, I mean, the Grand Slam offer, I think you just got to look at data and run multiple things. So, I mean, I run ads at $5 a day, $10 a day with different offers, and whichever one's converting the best, I just invest in all that. But just to kind of answer the $100 million offer thing, like it does apply to your business. I mean, your customer, especially if you're running Facebook ads, like that's a relaxed audience. You have to create an ad and an offer so good that they feel stupid if they don't jump now, they're going to miss out. And it's a back of mind marketing. A lot of our guys that I talk to, so like it's funny, our like Google ads we run as well, which is great. It's a consistent amount of ads, but the problem with the front of mind people is that they're getting quotes everywhere else. The Facebook ads people are not. They're just relaxed. They have that thing. And think of the junk removal. I know I've got a backyard full of stuff. I'm sitting here, and and it's like they're not. You get that back of mind to front of mind with that offer. And so I would say, and the nice thing is that I can control my audience. Like, Google is all intent based. So if the intent is down that month, my leads are down, and that's terrible. Facebook, I'm advertising to 10,000 people regardless if they want it or not. And so, if you want to take better of control, you have to get that offer done.
Yeah, no, that's so valuable. I know so many home service business owners have given up on Facebook ads and meta ads in the past because of what we're talking about, back of mind versus high intent going there. But it's a great angle that I don't think most people think about is that if someone's on Google, I mean, I was doing it today. We're trying to get termite inspection and stuff done. I was doing it today. I was on Google, so I reached out to 3 or 4 different companies, right? Whereas if somebody had been running Facebook ads, I probably wouldn't have just gone to the next website down, or like gone and looked.
100%.
So that's really smart. Well, going back to kind of the different services that you provide, you have the cleaning. That's kind of the core, at least of the simple service. But you did dive headfirst into kind of the repairs and the prevention side. And so walk us through what does that look like from a business perspective of like trying to increase your average ticket value, or like what are those tickets compared to the drive-in cleaning stuff?
100%. So the more value you can be to your customer, the more money you're going to make, right? And so not only do we offer, so like not only do we offer dryer vent cleaning, like we offer an array of services in that sphere. So like when I go into a home, a typical upsell ratio would look like I go in, I clean out the dryer, I clean out the dryer machine and the dryer vents. First thing I'm looking at is the transition hose. And so 90% of the hoses in there are not the correct hoses. They're the foil hoses because it's cheap, right? The Home Depot, Lowe's, and any kind of supplier is going to do the cheaper hose. And the problem
Mm.
is it actually leaks out. And it's funny, the back of the dryer will say, do not use foil duct. So I will show that to them. And then that's when I upsell my transition hose, which is a dryer flex hose. And the
Mm.
cool thing with the dryer flex hose is that it is a flexible, non-flammable hose that's crush resistant, and it goes in 4 foot and 8 foot, and extremely easy to install. But you can only get it from the manufacturer. So our clients cannot go into Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, and buy that hose. Also,
Yeah.
it's funny, we make it look easy installing, but it is hard to install if you don't do it as much as we do it. The next thing I'm
Yeah.
checking on is washer hoses. 70% of the homes we go into have rubber washing hoses, and a lot of homeowners don't know this, but over $180 million of property damages are caused by rubber washer hoses because they leak, they burst, and people don't understand. If you're talking about a standard like PSI on the water pressure coming from those washer hoses, it only takes 5 minutes to flood a 2,000 square foot home. So it's like, you imagine you go on vacation, it pops, and your whole house is flooded. Mold,
Yeah.
got to rip out the floors, got to do everything, all because you can. And so we upsell a higher quality, fully metal hose that won't leak or break or anything like that. And so that's another thing we upsell. Nothing we upsell, another thing we offer is duct sanitization. And so a lot of people don't know, every year you should get your duct sanitized. That helps, in Florida, super humid, there's things that build up in there. And so what we're doing, we're not cleaning the ductwork, but we're sanitizing it, which is getting those odors out of it. We're getting all the stuff that's out, all that smell, and we're mitigating any kind of bacteria buildup. And so,
Mm.
that's something that we can offer while we're there. And people love it. I mean, when we put that thing in, because we use a really specialized like an oil that goes in
Mhm.
that's non-water based, so I can point blank spray it at like their TV and it won't damage their TV. A lot of other
Huh.
companies use like the old sprayers that you kind of like pump up and you spray in, and it'll go in
Yeah.
and destroy every electronic in the home. And
Yeah.
so there's that. And then just like an array of other things, vent covers, roof jacks, we can swap out as well. And so sometimes we'll go up on a roof and the roof jack is completely ripped off and now water's getting in, so we can replace that. The vent covers we install are all, metal with magnets, so it keeps like, stuff out. I've pulled out bunnies, raccoons, snakes, lizards, iguanas out of machines because a lot of the vent covers are plastic. They break the
Yeah.
plastic and they get inside because they're attracted by the heat. And so, I mean, our average ticket, like we were looking at this year, is about $500 per stop is the average, which is,
Gotcha.
if you look at the industry as a whole, the average is $197. And that's
Wow.
not because we charge our customers more, it's because we offer more when we go in. And so,
Yeah.
like, a lot of these, we charge pretty much, we actually are kind of below market on a lot of our pricing on a lot of things, but we're really good at not only doing the service, but explaining the value to why our services are. And we find that the customers who spend the most money with us stay with us the longest because they want to maintain that investment. If you get somebody who's
Yeah.
paying cash, they just want the cleaning, get in and out, they're going to call us every 5 years when the dryer doesn't work, right? But the
Yeah.
service who spends $500 to have everything done is going to spend the 179 every year to maintain it.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. It's like sunken costs, and they call that big head, long tail. The more they pay up front, the more they are invested with you, and the longer they'll
Right.
stay with you in the long run.
Yep.
That's awesome. Well, what for y'all? Y'all are killing the Facebook ads. Pretty steady on the Google ads side of things. Trying to increase your average ticket. What's kind of your big goal as we head into 2026? What's your big goal for 2026? Is it a revenue number? Is it a target number? Or is there more crews you want, or what are you looking for?
Yeah, I mean, we a lot, all of it really. I mean, 2026 is a big year for us. We are going in with 2 trucks and we want to end with 3 trucks, and so that's my goal, is to hire a couple more guys and really scale up. The biggest win this year was we actually got the largest multi-unit contract in our area. So we actually completed a 564 unit cleaning, and that contract ended up, we're just completing it now, but the total value was $70,000. And so our goal is to do
Love it.
4 to 6 of those next year. And that's where the real
Love
like business is getting more of those contracts, because the thing is, in our industry, because that a lot of the guys in our space are single truck, single tech, they can't do things like net 30s, they can't take on these bigger contracts, they can't hire, they can't train, they don't have the insurance because they can't do the things. So like, because we have the capital and we have the experience and we have the training, I can go into an association with 200 units, quote them, and we can do a 200 unit association in 3 days with our technology
Yeah.
and tools. And so it's like, and then we
Yeah.
also have the cash management and the residential business to keep us afloat to then wait that, because
Yeah.
most associations are net 30. So it's like right now we're working on
Yeah.
a deal where it's like, it's a $17,000 contract. They want us to do it at the end of February, and they're going to pay us like the first of like or the end of March or the beginning of April. We're able to do that and really profit off of it because of our company size. I'm not shutting down my whole business to do it, and I'm also
Yeah.
not, I can afford the insurance, I can afford the structure of it, I have the experience to do it. So I think if
Yeah.
it's anything this year is to do more multi-units, more like we want to do it just in the multi-unit side, 800 units.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Love it. What is it like from a actually cleaning the dry events perspective? How different is it from the commercial side to just the residential side?
Yeah, I mean the difference really, it depends on the contract, but the main difference is that it is so like instead of going into every unit and performing the full service, a lot of those associations want us to do it from the exterior. And so what we're able to
Mhm.
do is actually use compressed air and actually stick it in and actually blow everything out. And then what we do
Mm.
is then the association puts it on the resident to call us out and clean the units individually and pay us for that. And so the
Mm.
difference really is like it's about efficiency and how much we can get done as fast as we can, because that's,
Mhm.
they want us in and out. They don't want us hanging out there for 2 weeks with our trucks
Yeah.
blocking everything in, and they don't want us going into every unit, especially if it's a 200 complex. Because imagine calling 200 people and letting us in and doing it and scheduling it. I mean, there's really no way to do that. So that's
Yeah.
the main difference, is like just the efficiency side of it. And a lot of them don't want us, I mean, they don't want us to build till the project's done. So as a business owner, I want to get that done as fast as possible. I don't want to tie up my trucks for, a month. I want it done 3, 4 days. But the nice thing
Yeah.
with compressed air is we can do about, with one compressed air system, we could do about 70 units. We have one right now. We want to get a second one for the other truck. So the idea is we can get 150 done per day. So we can knock out a 200 thing in a day and a half worth of work. So
That's incredible. That's
yeah,
incredible. Well,
yeah.
what is it like getting those commercial contracts? I know a lot of people have that as the stumbling block. We're like, okay, well, I can reach out to my friends and family and ask for referrals and run ads or have a website, and then I'll have some residential customers. But going into that commercial market is a whole nother ballgame. So what has it been like for you tapping into that and trying to get those contracts? Hey, real quick, before we get back to the video, if you're a local business owner and you're serious about getting more customers from Google, I want to invite you to our free school community linked down below. Inside, you'll get weekly coaching calls where I can personally help you one-on-one, so you're never stuck wondering what to do next to get more customers. Once you join, we'll give you a custom-built ranking report to show you exactly how you're ranking against your competitors, and then we'll even show you the next couple things you can do to start ranking higher. We do all of these reports manually to make sure they're done right. You'll get our 50,000 Google review script, the same script we've used to help hundreds of businesses get over 50,000 reviews, showing you what to say, when to request the review, how to follow up and get that review without being annoying or awkward. And you'll even get a step-by-step checklist on how to optimize your Google Business profile to make sure you're ranking at the top of Google. Sometimes just making a few tweaks on that Google Business profile can be the difference between never showing up on Google and dominating your area. All in all, you'll get access to a community of business owners and experts trying to grow their business just like you. It's a safe space to ask questions and get more tailored one-on-one advice. It's 100% free. I don't have a coaching program or a course to sell you. Just click the link down below, join the community. We'd love to see you inside.
It's definitely a lot harder and a lot slower. So you have to be patient, and you have to also, I believe also, if you're starting off in this industry, you have to build the residential first. So we were in the residential space for a year and a half first. And the reason we were that is because we needed to build that residential cash flow. Because the nice thing with the residential is the day that I complete the job is the day I get paid. I mean, we get payment, we collect payment right when the job is done. And as you build that up, what you'll do is, I mean, as far as how we got this contract, it was honestly just through like networking, meeting. I joined a local BNI, started getting connected with other people like handyman, plumbers, and they would introduce me to property managers. I would go out to the property managers. So I have one contract with a person who owns a bunch of condos and who all the roof jacks need to be swapped out, and he'll literally text me, "Hey, I need 3 done this week." It's like $800 a condo. So it's
Yeah.
like, I need 3 done this week. We go in, we get it done. But those relationships wouldn't come unless you're building relationships and getting referred. You can't really run a Facebook ad for that. I wish you could, and I'm sure you could. Once I figure it out, believe me, that'll be great. But most of it's just relationship building, and they build upon themselves. So like the company that I'm working with, I won't say the company name just because I don't know if they want me to, but they are a management company that manages hundreds of properties, like different associations in
Yeah.
Florida. And so
Yeah.
once I get in good with them, I have that relationship. So I can go in and say, hey, I've done this work. If you ever need it in the future, let me know. And that
Yeah.
usually snowballs into more contracts and more work. So
Yeah. And that's the awesome thing about working with other businesses in that commercial sense, versus residentials, because I mean, sure, I guess residential customers can buy more homes that need more dryer vents, but a lot of times from the commercial side, if you're working with a business and that business is trying to grow, they probably have other deals and other projects and other buildings and other
right,
stuff going on, right? So it's just built-in
right,
growth for you. If you do a great job, they're gonna be calling
yeah,
you back. Um, but yeah, no, that's incredible. I love hearing about the commercial side of the business, because it's one of those things where I feel like the people on the commercial side in the home service industry, they're quieter normally. They're like they don't there's not flashy numbers or anything from like the total perspective, but then you look like revenue, you're like, holy crap. I talked to
yeah,
a poop scooper who I never heard of before, and he's like one of the biggest poop scoopers, and it's because he works with about 50 or 60 HOA associations around Orlando and does their pet waste removal there. It's like, yeah,
yep,
big deal, big deal.
big deal.
Um, Cool, cool. Well, you got started with Review Harvest like back from day one starting Vent Doctors. And I think now you're at over 200 reviews. What would you say to somebody who has no idea about Review Harvest, but knows they need some more reviews?
100%. Well, I would tell people, and I tell all my business people all the time because I outrank all of them by a mile, is that I say Review Harvest is like your secret weapon, because like if you're doing good service and you're creating like that value, and then you can marry that with a company that will like you literally all they're doing is tripling the opportunity that you're going to get reviews. You're going to
Mhm.
grow substantially. I mean, just in the last like 15 months, we've broken 200 Google reviews. We're the number one ranking dryer vent cleaning company in our regions. We're ranked number one in all the maps and everything. And it's funny because like we have guys in this industry who there's a guy who actually, it's funny, he bought a dryer vent business 3 months before we started, and I knew Clay, so Clay got us hooked up. Within 4 or 5 months, I'm outranking him, and people are thinking, "Oh, you're the business that just you're 7 years in. That guy just started." And
Yeah.
it's like it's a cheat code to like build up that, because people see 200 reviews, they think, oh, this guy's got to be in business the last 5-10 years. We've only been in
Yeah.
business 2 years. So it's
Yeah.
like I tell people all the time, like, yeah, I have so many people, Clay, that I've been trying to get to you. I don't know what their deal, they're just slow. I don't know what's going on, but I have friends who are roofers for 20 years and they have 21 reviews, and I'm like, so you've only done 21 roofs? And they're like, no. I'm like, call Clay. You
Yeah.
know. So I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah, like immediately. So yeah, I just tell people it's their secret. It's my secret weapon. It's like it's the
Yeah.
one thing. It's like it's probably the highest ROI marketing I have across everything we do. So
Incredible, incredible. I
yeah,
love it. I'm glad to hear it. And yeah, I love to mess with those people that have been in business for 20 years and only have like 20 reviews or something. I'm like, oh, so you only have had 20 happy customers ever? Like only 20 people were happy enough to
right.
say something. It's not the case. They have way more than that. They just don't have a proper system in place to ask. And so we do have for anybody listening and for Daniel, we do have a new referral program that's live at the time you're watching this and live now. You get a personalized link in your dashboard. You can add their emails in there, and then when they sign up, they'll get a $100 gift card after they complete their trial, and you'll get a $100 gift card of your choosing. There's like 2,000 different gift cards you can choose. So, yeah, no, love for you to spread the word
Sweet.
there. But thank you for the glowing review there. You've been an amazing customer, and yeah, best of luck to all your stuff in your business. And we always like to close out with one piece of advice you would have to the home service business owner listening to this that might be struggling to grow, or they're kind of in the pain cave, they're in the trenches. What's one piece of advice you would have?
Yeah, I mean, the best advice I ever received was start small, think big. So a lot of times as
Mm.
business owners, we think, oh my goodness, I need to buy the fanciest truck, the fanciest equipment. I gotta get it wrapped. I gotta spend all this money. Don't. Okay, start
Yeah.
small, keep your overhead low, but think about where you want to end up. And that is like that as you grow, like play to your advantages. Like if you're a smaller company, you could probably offer lower prices. If you're a smaller company, you can get out there faster. And so use that as your advantage. Don't go in there and spend all this money on everything and just pray that it's all going to work out and it's finally going to catch up. And so I would say start small, think big, and just stick it out. Yeah, think in decades, not in years, or
Yeah.
not in months,
Love
I
it.
should say. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Love it. Great.
cool.
Great sage advice there, Daniel. Well, we're gonna have Daniel's website linked down below. We'll also put your Instagram and stuff down there. If anybody is in the Port St. Lucie area and they've got a dryer that they're worried about catching on fire, give Daniel a call. Or if they've got a dryer, if you've got a dryer
Sure.
in general, you probably
Yeah,
need
I'll
it,
give an
right?
offer too. If you book through and you they offer Clay 2026, we'll get $50 off your first dryer event clean. So there you go.
There you go. There you go. I love it. I love it. Well, thanks for hopping on today, Daniel. We'll have all that stuff linked down below, and you have a great weekend.
Thank you, you too, Clay. Thanks so much.
Yeah.